Hi everyone, my name is Andrea Henrich and this is Homeschooling with the Henriches. In today's video, I am so excited to share with you about how I taught my kids how to read. So now, 3 out of 4 of my kids are reading and it's been an amazing journey, but I know how overwhelming it can be firsthand. With my oldest, she was my guinea pig and I was overwhelmed. I got so many information from books, from YouTube videos, from curriculum, from anything that was out there I had. And I was completely mind blown with everything. I just was lost. So now after teaching her how to read, it's been so much easier to teach my other kids how to read, and it's been a faster process for them. So if you're feeling overwhelmed and you don't know where to start and you want an easy way to teach your kids how to read, stay tuned. So in many times I have found that some people do sight words along with their phonics together, and other people start their journey with just using phonics. I've personally found out with my kids that phonics is the way to go, and it's been amazing. The kids pick it up really quickly and it's been a fast process for us. As with anything, we want to give our kids some grace and we want to give ourselves some grace. Some of the kids might pick up reading really quickly, where others are just going to struggle a little bit at the beginning, but once they pick it up, it's going to be like a light switch that just went off. They're going to go from learning how to read to reading chapter books in no time. So we just want to be able to encourage them and to be able to keep going. Consistency is key here when you start reading and we start teaching your kids how to read, and just a lot of positive reinforcement for your kids is a must. And depending on the age that you're teaching, for example, I've begun my teaching with my youngest one at 1, and I don't expect her to read at 2. So if you're starting with a younger child, they're going to take a little bit longer to get reading, of course. And if you're starting with a 3-4-year-old, their process might look different than if you're starting with a 1-year-old. So it's something to keep in mind. Although the 1-year-old is probably not going to read full sentences or CVC words right there at 1, it's great for them to start listening to those sounds, and it helps them with their vocabulary and to be able to pronounce certain words crisper rather than mumble some other words that little kids usually do struggle with. To begin with reading, every single session I like to start with a mouth warm-up. If you watch my videos of my letter sound phonics, you have known that I start with this in every single video. And this is great for the reason that we want to warm up our mouth muscles, just like when we do any sports. We want to warm up ourselves. The same thing goes with phonics. This is something new that the kids are doing, so we want to make sure that we warm up their mouth muscles and their tongue, all the elements that they're going to be using to make those letter sounds. Now, after you're done with your mouth warm-up, the first thing that I like to do, this is the basic step 1 for teaching your kids how to read, is flashing letter sounds. You can do this with the video recording like I did in my channel, or you can just take flashcards from the dollar store, or if you have flashcards around your house, you can use them. The most important thing is that you only want one letter in there. You don't want the uppercase and lowercase together. That is very distracting. We want to keep the letters to be all lowercase because that's what we're going to be reading, right? So in every single book, every single text, we're going to be seeing mostly lowercase letters. So we want the kids to really recognize these lowercase letters more than the uppercase. Learning uppercases are really no big deal. They learn that really quick. So for example, I flash this cards like so. I have my kid right in front of me. I give them a wand or a stick or anything that they want to do to point it, and that helps them to really focus on that letter. So they'll point A, B, K, D, and so on till you get to all the letters in the alphabet. After I do this, I master this the way that it should be. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, and so on. I like to mix them up in my ring because some of the kids will just memorize what's coming. And so we want to make sure that even though they're memorizing their letter sounds, we want to know that they actually know how they look and how they sound. Not just memorizing that card number 2 is going to be ba, right? So we want to mix them up and we want to quiz them that way. Once they've done their letter sounds in the right order and mixed up order, you're ready for step number 2. Step number 2 is our 2-letter blends. So the way that I introduce this is I emphasize the vowels, a, e, o, and I make sure to only let them know the short sounds of those vowels. We're not going to get into the long sounds yet. That is for further on. So, and I like to have this as a little tabletop easel. And what I did was I broke up my letter sounds, my 2-letter blends, into 2 sets. And so what I did, I have these 2, and I broke them up so that way my child was not overwhelmed by all of them at once. And I tried teaching them one by one. I made videos for my kids to watch, and I'll be posting those shortly after. And what I did was I did the ba, be, bo, bo. And the way that I introduced this was I let them know, I was like, what sound is this? And then they would say ba. And I was like, that's awesome. How about ba, ah, they would say, right? And I'd say ba, ah. We want to emphasize those vowels, elongate those vowels a little bit. So that way when they get to the next step of CVC, they're really ready and they're hearing themselves and sounding those words out, and it's easier for them to decode those words. So ba, ah, ba, a, ba, ah, ba, ah. And like everything at the beginning, we want to emphasize the sounds that we make very aggressively, because the kids really learn better when we really emphasize those sounds in a big way. So that's key number 1 when teaching phonics and reading to your kids. Once your child can do both sides, and as you can see, I just glued 2 pieces of paper here, and I made a chart with markers. This is really simple, really easy, and really inexpensive. So once my child was okay with doing this, I started them with CVC. What CVC words are consonant, vowel, consonant words, such as cat, mat, bat. Usually at this time, I start my kids with an Alpha Phonics program. This program will take your kids from a beginning reader to reading at a 3rd grade level. So this is an amazing program, and I've loved it. My kids have loved it. This is amazing. Let me walk you through one of the lessons. So as everything, it starts off with an alphabet. And then this is lesson number 1. So lesson number 1, we have again that vowel and that consonant, and then we make that sound together. So in here is a, am. And we want to make sure that the kids can do this on their own. We're not really nudging them like, like we're not helping them. We want them to be able to decode this on their own, and we want to take this program in a mastery level. So if they're not really comfortable decoding am, and, as, at, as, we don't want to move them on to lesson 2. In lesson 2, we add another consonant. So that way the sounds that they've learned previous in lesson 1 now turn to Sam, man, has, sat, and tax, right? So again, we want to make sure we keep this fun. I put this in Klingies, and I have my kids put a sticker on this. So once they master it, they put a little sticker, and they're just having a lot of fun. One thing that I have to mention with this program is that it's not really for kids. This is a second language learning program. So for anyone who is a foreign language speaker, so the lessons can get a little long when you're moving through the book, but the way that I kind of stop the burnout from my kids is I break this up. So this is lesson number 38, and as you can see, that is a lot of words, right? And for a kindergartner or a preschooler, depending how the age of your child, this is a lot. So I break it down into maybe 6-7 words, or when you guys get to do sentences, I break them up into having them read 2 sentences. So we work up to 3 sentences and then 4 sentences. I think anything past 5 sentences is a little bit of a burnout because they're working really, really hard in this time. So they're not really sure of what they're doing yet. And we don't want to shake their confidence. We want to encourage them, and we want to cheer them on, and we want to make sure that we're pushing them, but we're not sending them off into the deep sea, right? We want to make sure that they're having fun, and this is all a game. The more that we can keep this fun and lighthearted, the better it's going to be for them. With my Alpha Phonics program, I like to use my Bob books. This is great. This encourages the kids to keep on reading, and I do a lot to motivate them to keep on reading with reading charts, reading prices, all this type of fun things. And these are the Bob books reading set 1. And as you can see, the first book is called Math. When you open it, it has a review of all the letter sounds that you're going to be needing. For me, if you can see over here, I underline the ma sound because that's what we practice with our 2-letter blends. So my child would say mat, mat, and so on. So these books really start out simple, having 1 or 2 words in them, nothing more than that. So they're really, really fun. Your kids are really going to be excited because they go from reading 1 word to reading 2 words to reading a full sentence. So this process is so exciting for them and exciting for us as parents, watching them evolve into this beautiful readers that they're going to be. And so the set 1 goes through different books, different color codings. So this is a medium level, the purple ones, and then the last books that you're going to have in the set are green colored. And when you get to the green color, you're going to be reading full sentences. So it's a big change from what we started with maths that only had 1 word. Now we're reading sentences. And we're having little stories. I mean, they're not really intricate stories, but they're really, really, really easy for them to read, and this is a confidence booster for my kids. Another thing that you can do after you finish with your Bob books, if you do the Good and the Beautiful already, they have this little My First Reading books. The only thing that I would do is I would hold off to this until your child knows and is confident about reading CVC words, because these ones do add sight words. And we don't want to mix this in too soon, or else your child is going to be very confused, especially with the I sound. I found with my child that was very confusing, and that then she would switch the it sound for the I sound. So we want to introduce the sight words, especially the I and the A, as words themselves. So this one say I dig. These ones are really nice, really short, really sweet, and these are another way for your kids to start adding sight words to their reading. And once they finish their Good and the Beautiful, or if you want, I picked this up at Facebook Marketplace. This was given to me by another homeschool mom, and this is from All About Reading Level 1. And these books are fun, they're great. Again with the short stories, you want to keep the kids reading short stories until they have more confidence and their fluency gets a lot better. As you keep going with these books, you're going to notice a huge difference. They go from sounding out ja, to them reading jam, right? And you're like, whoa, what happened there? What happened to, all the clunky reading? But they get better and better each time they read. And the way that I read these books is that with the Bob books, with the Good and Beautiful, or with the All About Reading, I have my child read the stories every single day until they master, until they're not very shaky with the vocabulary or the words that they're reading. So if I see that they're still struggling with it, I still have them read the book again the next day. So again, these are really nice short stories, and they're not too long. So in the All About Reading, I think there are 20 stories, I believe. So 14. And these are short, these are great. They're not very complex yet. And these are going to give your kids a lot of confidence in reading. Another resource that I've had was the Leapfrog Letter Factory. This is a really nice program for the kids. It's a nice little movie. It's fun. It makes the letters come alive, and they're really, really having fun with it. So that is something that you can do with your own kids. And all of my resources, I'm going to link them down. And I hope you like this video. I have so much fun sharing resources with you and things that have worked in my own homeschool. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Bye!